Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about practical steps to take to help you determine whether or not to marry that man or woman that your parents have said no to or disapprove of you marrying them. Okay, I know that one of the most important things when you start dating someone is that they want to show you off to their family and to their friends and introduce you to their parents. Introducing your partner to your family or to your friends also means, you know, getting your family's approval in most cases, right? Getting their blessings, you know, and their nod to say, yeah, go ahead and marry this person. But sometimes the reverse is the case, where your parents are like, no, you can't get married to this person, or they just outrightly say no or disapprove of your partner. In such instances, what would you do? And that's what today's video is about. I'll be telling you practical steps to take, you know, to determine whether or not to marry that man or woman, even if and when your parents say no or disapprove of the choice of life partner that you have made. So even if your parents say no to your choice of a partner, I don't think the ideal thing to do is to be overly confrontational with them or be disrespectful to them or just go about fighting them. There are better steps to take to challenge them or to vet their opinions, and eventually the decision, I believe, still lies in your hand whether or not to marry that person. So the first thing you need to do is to ask them why they said no. Listen to their reasons. You know, why have they said to you, you can't marry this man or you can't marry this woman? Listen carefully, not because you want to defend your partner, but you really want to understand what angle they are coming from, because until you understand why they have said no, there is no way to challenge them, or there's no way to be able to fight for your partner without understanding what they actually mean. When they tell you their reasons, say, okay, you've heard them, vet those reasons and actually see if they are true or not, because sometimes what parents do unknowingly is that they project their fears onto their kids. Okay, so you want to vet it properly. Now, if their reasons for saying no is new to you and that's something you haven't noticed in your partner before, don't take their words at face value. Okay, what you need to do is to then carefully, from the moment they mention it to you, pay attention to those things and see whether they are true or not, and see if you actually agree with what they've said. I know sometimes, like, you are so in love and you might get blinded to saying things because obviously you love your partner. Sometimes you don't see their flaws, sometimes you see their flaws and you still decide to get married to them anyways. But what I'm saying is, don't take their suspicions at face value. Watch out for those things by yourself if there are things that you haven't noticed. The third thing to do when you start noticing, you know, what they've said about your partners and they are actually true, then you need to determine if they are deal breakers for you, or if that thing is a deal breaker. And when I say deal breaker, it means something you absolutely cannot deal with in your marriage or in your relationship with this person. If you can't determine whether it's a deal breaker or not, then you need to speak to third parties or to your friends to, you know, give an extra eye and an extra opinion on that kind of thing. If it's, for example, like disrespect to your parents and you can't take it, then that's definitely a deal breaker for you. Then it is what it is. You need to end the relationship and, you know, you need to speak to the person first of all to see if that's something they can work on and change. But if it's not something that they can work on or change, then you have to call off the relationship. Okay, but if they are not deal breakers, if they're flimsy things like, oh well, she doesn't kneel down to greet me, because in a part of Nigeria where I come from, you have to kneel down to greet certain parents in, you know, certain tribes. And if your partner, for example, doesn't come from your tribe where you kneel down to greet elderly people, and they just maybe like just greet or stand and greet other people, and parents are like, oh my god, she doesn't kneel down to greet us, oh no, you can't get married to that person because she doesn't kneel down. These are flimsy excuses and flimsy reasons. I understand it might be an issue of respect for them in their culture, but honestly, that is not a deal breaker. Okay, so you need to be able to determine whether this issue is a deal breaker for you or not. So if it's not a deal breaker for you, you need to explain to your parents to say, look, this thing is not a deal breaker for me. It's because she's from XYZ tribe or he is from XYZ tribe, and that's not something that they originally do in their own tribe, and that's not necessarily something that they've grown up with or are accustomed to, but that's okay. As far as they're not disrespectful, they find other ways, you know, to, you know, get along with your parents and stuff like that, If it's not a deal breaker for you, it is not a deal breaker, and that's final. Or for example, they don't speak your language and your parents are like, no, anybody you must get married to must speak your language. Look, fam, that's not a deal breaker, okay? If after you've explained these things to your parents and they don't seem to agree with you, what you need to do is to go and speak to people that your parents actually listen to and people that they respect, okay? So you speak to those people, share, you know, what's been going on with them and what you feel, and let them talk to your parents. Let those people, maybe a bigger uncle or, you know, someone who is close to the family, let them talk to your parents about, you know, what you've said to them, and that, you know, you really love this person and you don't think that the reasons they're giving are deal breakers for you, and that you need them to talk to your parents. So when you get other people involved to talk to your parents and your parents still don't listen to the people that you thought they would listen to, you need to stand your ground and, you know, just tell them, look, this person is really important to me and I need to spend the rest of my life with this person. Just keep at it. Don't give up at all, okay? Don't give up at all. They will definitely come around. Not be as fast as you want it. It might not be when you want it, but they will definitely come around. So don't just say, oh well, my parents are not agreeing, I'll just leave it there. Pray about it, you know, see God's face, tell God to convince your parents for you as well. And trust me, like, if you keep praying about it, keep standing your ground, they will come around, because they also want you to get married, they want you to be happy, to start your own family. With time, like, their walls will break down and they will just, you know, accept. And so if that's what you want and you've, you know, just been on it and at it for a lot of months now, or, you know, for a period of time, and you haven't been shifting your ground, they will definitely, you know, just say okay to you, and then you can marry your partner. I'll tell you why you should stand your ground and actually marry that person who you are really sure is your life partner and you want to spend the rest of your life with. Number one, you will be in the marriage and not them, okay? And that's why I also don't support like arrangee marriage, where, you know, the parents arrange someone for you to get married to, because they will not be in the marriage. And if you get into a marriage with the wrong person because your parents didn't want you to marry the person you actually love and cherish, you'll be the one suffering in that relationship. You'll be the one living without love, actual genuine and real love in your heart for the person you're married to, okay? So you will be the one in the marriage and you have to make the decision on whom to get married to. The second reason you have to stand your ground is that you're about to start your own life and to build your own life and family, and you will be calling the shots in your family, not your parents. So you need to be able to stand your ground when you make certain decisions and say, look, this is my family, this is my life that I'm trying to build here. You've built yours, you need to give me the chance to build my own family. Your parents, they won't be the ones calling the shots in your marriage and in your home. You are supposed to be living your life and driving your life and taking charge of your life and calling the shots in your own home. And building that home starts with you being able to choose who you want to get married to. They've lived their life or are living their lives. You need to live yours. Third reason is that you, my friend, are an adult and can make your own decisions. You're an adult and should be allowed to make your own decisions. Whatever the consequences of those decisions are, good or bad, you get to live with them. You get to take responsibility for them, but not allowing you make your own decision is not showing that you are an adult enough or you're responsible enough. You need to be able to trust that you can make your own decision as an adult. What they can do for you is to provide their ideas, to provide their guidance to you, to pray for you, to nudge you along, to cheer you up, but making that decision ultimately will be yours to make. The days where they made the decisions for you, those days are past. They are gone. When you were small, when you were a kid, when you couldn't think enough to make your own decisions, those days are gone. And now you have to take charge of your life and to take charge of your own, you know, decisions and the path you want to take in life. I've had many situations of relationships that got broken because the parents of the other partner said no. Now, something I need to say to you is, if your partner didn't fight for you and they called off the relationship because their parents told them to say so, you dodged a bullet, okay? Do not beg for love. It was good that that relationship ended, because you would have spent every day of your life in that relationship begging to be loved, fighting for a place in your own home and in your own family. If they couldn't fight enough for you and because their parents said so, they let you go, it is fine. The reason why you should be happy that, you know, that relationship ended is also because their parents would have been controlling you and your partner in the marriage if you have gone ahead anyways. Because if they can't stand up to their own parents, it means that when you get married, they can't stand up to their parents as well. You need to be able to draw a boundary, you know, between the decisions of yours that your parents can influence and the ones that they can't influence. And your marriage is probably one of it. And yes, bless your parents. We know a lot of times the things that they do are out of care, but sometimes they kind of exceed certain boundaries that they should not. And you as a child who is an adult need to be able to draw those boundaries. You draw boundaries with everyone in your life, with your partner, with your parents, with your friends, with your family. You need to keep certain boundaries that they cannot cross. I believe that there are ways you can go ahead, you know, and make your choices clear to your parents and stand your ground without being overly confrontational or disrespectful to them or fighting them. Okay, I wish you all the best with your partner and in your love life, and I hope you build that amazing marriage that you're looking forward to. I love you and you know it. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.